Sluskarn's on pole, and for the second time, Sluskarn starts from it, and the Miami Grand Prix is 5 lights away. And the Miami Grand Prix is going. We're racing towards turn number 1. It seems to be a good start for Sluskarn as we're going in towards turn number 1. And Sluskarn leads from Quincy in the McLaren side by side between the championship leader and the Sauber. Around the first couple of corners we go. Yellow flags momentarily as Aaron has going side by side. Then towards the Mickey Mouse, the twist and turns. The second one we go. Craig Connolly ahead of James. A little tap in the rear there by the Aston Martin as we're going through the first sequence of corners. What's happened here in the background? Ride's gone Ellis in the Aston Martin as we're on board with Kode Matic in the Haas going side by side with El Prat. Now down the long bash there we go. El Prat losing places hand over fist. WHF average gone from 14 to 12. Decent start from the Ferrari driver as the second Ferrari is looking to go into combat as well. Down the straight we go towards the heavy braking zone in sector 2. The first braking zone in sector 2. Under braking in sector 2 now as side by side between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. Round goes the Racing Bulls. Arrow makes up another place as Ellis is now in a Ferrari sandwich. It's around the final corner of the racetrack we go. Here's your tyres for you then. Every single tyre command has been used. Is what's happened to Quincy. Quincy's had a moment and through goes the Kick Sauber on the final corner. Moment for Quincy and the Sauber says thank you very much as the Red Bull on the hard compound tyres is not being able to make a move. As side by side we go with Craig Conley. Now James and Ollie Bean going side by side. And Ollie Bean in the Aston Martin makes up a place on the Haas. Now Brams and the Williams looking to make up a 9th place in the opening phase of this Grand Prix. The gap is closing in as what's happened to Sluskarn, the man who was on pole. Sluskarn is round, the Mercedes is round, and the man who started on pole for the second time this season is probably not going to convert his pole into a win. There's damage on the front wing. In the McLaren, side by side we go. Craig Conley now probably not happy with the move that Brown's made. Contact between the pair of them. Now side by side in towards the chicane we go. Watching from the rear, in the wall goes Brams, but no damage for the Williams driver as Brams is gaining on the McLaren into the final corner of the racetrack. Diving on the inside, Brams will go and he will make the move on the McLaren, but the McLaren will hold it out around the outside. Now we go side by side in the final corner. Now it is Craig Conley's turn with the ERS. He's got the DRS and now he's gaining on the Williams. He's gaining on the Williams and pulls out to the inside. And back goes the McLaren into the top 5 there. But Browns will hang this out around the outside and Craig Conley bails out of the fight. But Aaron is gaining on the McLaren. He's going to look to the inside, is he? But maybe just lifts off to try and save some more ERS. Through the Mickey Mouse section we go now, maybe trying to man a move, but wide goes the McLaren and running outside. The Red Bull will roar and the Red Bulls have bowled on by to take the lead in the Miami Grand Prix. Aaron is through the final braking zone of the racetrack. Aaron is going to be put under pressure by the McLaren. The McLaren pulls out to the inside and the McLaren can roar back on by to the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. Aaron going to try the old switcheroo out of the final corner. We stand on the power going down the main straight. Aaron has got no battery left and there is plenty of ERS left for Quincy in the battery. He's gaining on the McLaren. He's gaining on the McLaren. And for the second time, he's to the inside to take the lead in the Miami Grand Prix. But Aaron is now under pressure from the McLaren as towards the inside. The McLaren will go. And for the second time this evening, the McLaren will go to the inside on the Red Bull and will retake the lead. But for the second time running, he tries the up and under. And watching from the rear of the McLaren, the Red Bull just needs to save a bit of battery. Needs to play the patient game. Wait for the back straight. Aaron's looking to the inside, and for the third time in succession to the hat-trick of moves in this corner. If he can make it stick, and Aaron is through for the third time, and Aaron in the Red Bull, the championship leader. But he's trying, maybe going tactical to save this battery and then come back at him. Brams on the inside, side by side between the final 2 corners of the racetrack. Brams on the outside, the Haas on the inside. Who's got DRS? I don't think any of them have got DRS. The Haas actually did have DRS. As on the inside, the Haas will go, and around the outside, Brams will go to 5th place if he can make it stick. But James is there to bowl on by, and the Haas driver saying thank you very much. I will take that back as it's yellow flags out. And what has happened out front? The top 2 have come together. We switch to it. Quincy and Aaron have come together, and for the second time this evening, the lead has been gifted to the Kick Sauber, but Ollie Bean is probably going to take that straight back away. Ollie Bean is now to the inside of the Sauber, and Ollie Bean to the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. Sauber up in the second, James up in the third, Brams coming back at the Haas as Randy outside. Brams will go, the Haas will dive on the inside, lock up by Brams as they've got a chance to get a win this season on the inside. Brams goes really deep though and allows the Haas back through, and for the second time this race into the pit lane goes Brams. I was going to say for the second time, as here we making his way down the long straight as Quincy and Cody Matic going side by side at an unusual part of the circuit. As side by side we go as Quincy and Cody Matic, position change as into the pits comes the Sauber. Quincy pulls out to the inside, looking to make a move on Cody Matic. These two on the exact same tyre life, side by side in the final corner of the racetrack. The McLaren on the inside, the Haas on the outside. We got a little bang in between the pair of them. Standing on the power on the exit of the corner as into the pit lane. Cody Matic looks to go but then doesn't go for it. So no one being able to make the reverse strategy work. Look how slow Jamaican Jam was on the exit of the corner. Ollie Bean shoving the Alpine through, continues to hit the rear as towards turn 1 we go, and Ollie Bean is through into 5th place as James will rejoin this race down in P11. P12 will be close with the Mercedes on the exit. The Esperanza battery is Aaron running outside with Quincy. These two who collide in sector 1, a couple lap to go, are dueling in the final sector on this occasion. Side by side we go between the pair of them on this occasion. Absolutely level ERS towards turn 1 we go. Down the inside, Quincy will go, running outside, Aaron will go. On board with the McLaren, they're still keeping it side by side. And Aaron forcing the red McLaren wide. And Aaron having absolutely none of it, maybe making a statement there with the rest of the field. Now here comes Ollie Bean. He's on the inside, almost making contact. Side by side between the McLaren and the Aston Martin. He's leaving room to see if the McLaren wants to make it free wide. He will make it free wide. Free wide under braking. Down the inside, Ollie Bean will go. Aaron loses 2 places. Ollie Bean is made up 2 places. Quincy's basically kept position as Asian previously. Side by side towards the final corner of the racetrack. The McLaren pulls out to the inside line, and side by side towards the final corner of the racetrack. Second place is up for grabs here on the road as round the final corner of the racetrack we go. On board with the Aston Martin, watching from the rear. Yellow flags out back for Craig Conley, who spun, but towards turn number 1 we go. Ollie Bean as the McLaren is diving down the inside at turn number 1, and the McLaren's on the inside as side by side through 2, and Quincy has to bail out of it. Down the straight we go towards the heavy braking zone in sector 2. Aaron pulls out to the inside. Goes Quincy going to fight this one? Down the inside Aaron will go, and Quincy will not fight this one. Quincy will back out of it, and the championship leader back up into the top 3. I think Dub Z, or it's the, at the minute it's either Dub Z or Brams set to take the championship lead. Side by side for the race lead. Brams moves to the race lead. Lanky is under pressure from the McLaren, watching from the rear of the Mercedes. Through goes the McLaren driver into 5th place in the race as Ollie Bean will have a little look and diving down the inside, locking the rears. Has a little look, and instead of a little look, it's a monumental look. We stand on the power, touching the curb, side by side through the final corner. Now has to bail out of it, Ollie Bean, as Quincy sets the fastest lap of this race. Might get caught out by the amount of grip he's got. He might now try and think of a dive to the inside. Down the inside, James will go. Almost contact. There is contact. Cuts the corner. Lets Craig Conley back by. So, no harm done there. But now, once again, watching from the rear of Craig Conley. He's under pressure from the Haas of James. He's in the Haas sandwich as Craig Conley will defend the inside. He's unsure what way to go as almost swiping the Haas driver. He is swiping the Haas driver. Craig Conley making contact with the Haas. I don't really know what Craig was doing there as he's just driving into the Haas driver. Craig, why? That's just stuff you don't want to see in league racing. You don't want to see drivers purposely intending to drive into others. Lunatic. I think that's the only way you can describe it. Like, don't understand it. Craig, I don't understand. Craig, mate. It's so poor. Really frustrated right now, but you can't really blame him. Falls out to the inside. Craig Conley is on the outside line, and side by side they go, and Craig Conley does concede the place. But is there a late race charge potentially? There could be a late race win charge, but on the cards here for Quincy. 2 laps to go at the Miami Grand Prix. 5.3 seconds split the top 2. He needs to find 2 seconds in the final corner of the racetrack, and as I say that, the commentator's curse kicks in, and he loses 1 place, almost 2, as Dubsy has to take a voice in action. The commentator's curse does kick in. Side we go with Quincy. Running outside, Quincy will go, and Quincy will take 2nd place once more. The McLaren driver finally gets 2nd place done. A Sluskarn pole means it's a Williams victory. Let's say hello to your new championship leader, Brams. In Miami, he lands with the championship lead in a points haul of 25 points. Brams wins the Miami Grand Prix 1 second ahead of Quincy. Welcome to the podium party this season, Dub Z. Doug Sauber will take 4th. Ollie Bean by a 10th finishes in P5. Andre takes P6. James takes P7. Cody Matic will take 8th on the road, but will probably drop down to P10 or P11. Crosses the line, falls behind Cody Matic. Scones gets the head of them, so Scones finishes P10